Vellum's begun to have strange, unexplainable dreams since the Cataclysm. He feels he is watched, as if some force propels his progress forward and is not allowing it to end, as if he is not but entertainment for some otherworldly presence. But tonight he dreamed he burned alive. It was so real, the sensation of catching a flame in a wooded alley between two buildings. It brought him to wakefulness with a cold sweat. It was surely just a dream. Welcome to Cataclysm, Dark Days Ahead, the journey of Vellum, an elven wizard's apprentice who's dreamed of becoming an archmage before the world ended. We were trying to make improvements around our house, but Vellum is still being interrupted by the sounds of the dead. It is nearly noon, and it's soon time for him to try and lay down for another nap so that he can be active at nighttime. But he is going to step downstairs. During his studies last night, or should I say, during the day yesterday, we did manage to learn a few new spells. Just to go over the list real quick, most of these spells along the top here are magic, and then the ones with these little lambda symbols at the bottom, I think that's lambda, are psychic abilities. The reason that I'm making a distinction is that these psychic abilities cost stamina, and then the magic cost mana. Stamina is something that we can get back very quickly. Mana comes back over the course of days. So, something just to keep in mind. So the first three here are just utility spells. This cleans our clothes, which is incredibly important for our morale. This provides us with a light, although it is, in fact, much better to use Chandler's Glow, because Chandler's Glow can be turned off, and the magical light we create by this is a conjured item that will last as long as it wants to last. Aura of Protection will protect us from the environment. If it starts getting very hot or very cold, this is going to be very clutch. Peaceful Rest allows us to sleep, but we're never going to cast the spell, because as an elf, we go to our traits, we have Reverie, rather than Sleep Insensate, like humans do. You blend living night and dreams into a harmonious whole. You are not bothered by light levels and need much less sleep per night, which does sort of mean that other than the hearing issues that we were having, because our elven hearing was letting us pick up disturbances very far away that were startling us to awake because our character was still panicking from the first days of the Cataclysm, Peaceful Rest will not be that useful. Magic Missile you've seen our cast so many times, and in fact we've cast it so many times that it's almost already max level, which is a little silly. Translocate Self is much too difficult as a level 15 difficulty spell. We'll get more into the levels of spells later, but much too difficult for us to cast right now. But once we do manage to start casting it, we will be able to move around the map a little bit in a more controlled fashion. We'll be able to have a home base that we can teleport back to. Heart and Earth I've never really managed to make good use of, so I don't really know what it does exactly, but it claims that I can compress dirt together so it becomes hard as a rock. Great way to turn makeshift barricades into a fortress. I'd love to play with this and see if we can figure out what to do with it. Nature's Bow is one of my favorite spells in the game. It summons both a bow and 20 arrows, which allows us to just go ham with a bow, and we don't have to carry a bow around with us. However, it's not as strong as some of the lighter bows that we can either find or craft. Harvest of Hunter just goes hand in hand with the archery thing, the elven archery thing we're going to be doing with Vellum here. And Harvest of the Hunter turns a whole bunch of twigs. Like you'll see at the bottom, it actually has component requirements of a stick or some twigs, and it turns them into a bunch of arrows. These arrows, they can have some properties to them because they actually turn into magical permanent arrows where we can like bramble people and stuff like that. Mana Bolt is basically Magic Missile, but it does a lot more damage, doing 38 nether damage instead of the 22 over here. But the downfall of it is that Mana Bolt is much louder, causing an explosive sound. But it also costs a lot more mana, sitting at 150 mana instead of 50. But in a time of need, another Mana Bolt, it can take down a lot of creatures. We found a smudged scroll. Let me just go ahead and read this to you. This spell appears to be very smudged. You're fairly sure the name should be Cause Fear, but you're also fairly sure it won't have the desired effect because the instructions are hardly legible. No time like the Cataclysm to find out, though. And we have Cause Bear. I've never successfully cast this spell, but I think we can all figure out what it's going to do. And then the last 3 are runes. These are just, I am a druid, I'm a magus. So these just lock me out of, Technomancer, Biomancer, and Calvinist, I think it is. Which are the other 3 types, the other 3 schools of magic. Whenever you choose one school, you get locked out of the other. And the runes just let me craft something so that we can make items that are important to that craft, which is over here in the Enchanted tab. And like, for example, we can come down and we can find, this isn't something I can craft, but we have like the Calvinist's candle right here, which would require a Calvinist rune, meaning you'd have to be a Calvinist to craft one. We don't have a lot of recipes here. Vellum doesn't really know a lot of crafted magic or ritual magic yet, which is one of the reasons why we really want to find more magic shops, so we can find some books that have recipes in them. Ideally, one of the first major goals Vellum has is to create his magic staff. It is a rite of passage of all wizards and all soon-to-be archmages. It's not the easiest thing in the world to create, but once we were to create one, we would have a staff that works not only as a quarterstaff weapon in our hands, but it's also a magical focus, meaning we no longer have to put our weapon away. But all that being as it may, let's go ahead and check out what lurks down here and is disturbing our crafting. We're going to carefully step out here to look around. It doesn't look like anything has gotten in. We do still have a locked case here. Ooh, there's an MRE package in here. Does that MRE package have anything we actually care about? Cheese spread. That's not something that is palatable to our elven constitution. We do have some crystallized mana over here. That would actually be one of the steps required for us to get a staff later. So we'll go ahead and pick it up while we're down here. Just double checking all of the cases that were destroyed to see if there is any magic items left in the rubble. I don't see anything. Okay. We're going to have to clean up this place down here. It is absolutely disgusting with the corpses of everything we've slain. We also probably want to make some lockpicks at some point to try and get this one of magic missiles out of there. So we don't have a window we can peek through very easily. So we are going to go ahead and step out here. We immediately see one zombie. He's pretty far away. Yeah, he's pretty far away. But he does see us. So what we'll probably do is we'll just step back into the darkness a little bit here and sort of let this guy come to us. We also hear the footsteps down there, and I think I heard some to the north as well. It doesn't seem like there's any super close, though. We'll wait another 20 seconds. Just sort of lighting... Oh, and he immediately walked into the trap. That's actually kind of beautiful. Go ahead and crush that corpse and leave him there. Well, the other one is down south here, and unfortunately this area down here is just way too wide open with way too many lines of sight for Vellum to step out during the day. It would be very risky. You know what? We're going to move this spike trap just slightly real quick, just so that I'm not attempting to run into it as often. We're going to move it to here. So now if something comes in the door, it'll step into that spike trap. We do still want to put something in front of all of these spike traps in front of all of these windows, because they are going to be the place that this place is most weak. And in fact, I don't think I managed to catch it, but something did actually break down one of these windows and actually come in. So there's a possibility that I put spike traps on the inside of the windows as well, just so that's like whenever something comes through, like I can't put spike traps there in the dirt because the spike trap wouldn't work there. I think something about how like you can't put a plank-based trap on soft ground. It has to be hard ground. So what we're going to do for now is until night falls, we are, instead of just like waiting and resting, we're going to make good use of our time. We're going to double check our books real quick. Make sure that there's nothing. Go ahead and cast our light spell. Nothing we can look over. And there is. All of these red books are books we've not read real quick. So we're going to go through those super fast. Okay. So the blue ones here, Phase Door, Sound Bomb, It's in the World, and You'll Feel Fine, and Beginners to Magic, are spell books that have magic in them. Also, Helm Mage's Healthcare Manual and Effective Technological Progress and Magic are also magic books. These below, if you see down the center, are skill books that will bring our skills to a certain thing. The gray ones are skill books that will bring our skill up, but we have a higher skill than what they'll teach. And the yellow ones are the same as the gray, except that they have recipes in them that we have not memorized. So let's go through these real quick. So Beginner's Guide to Magic. The only spells in here that we don't know is Phase Door, Sound Bomb, and Knowing the Day and Hour. Phase Door is actually useless for us because we have a psychic ability that does the same thing and is essentially cheaper. But Sound Bomb could be useful in special cases. It causes a very, very loud sound at a location, which might be able to allow us to help us draw things in. It has a very good utility use. And Knowing the Day and Hour is overridden by just having a pocket watch on us. We do actually have a pocket watch as part of our academy training, which, yeah, there it is. Which just tells us the time, and its battery is long enough lasting that it'll probably last longer than we do. So that's not something we're going to worry too much about. In fact, while we're sitting here reading books, we're going to go ahead and turn on our MP3 player, which will improve our mood and make studying a little bit easier. Let's see. We also have It's the End of the World, but You'll Feel Fine. That's where we learned Nature's Bow and Harvest of the Hunter from. But we also have 4 more spells down here, 2 of which are from Calvinist, which means we're not going to be learning them. But we have Purification Seed and Turning of the Earth. Purification Seeds allows us to purify water, which is incredibly good. Just, like, can't overstate how good that is. And Turning of the Earth will make it so that if we ever decide to get into farming, which might be a thing we want to do much later, like closer towards winter, so like summer and autumn we might get into farming, this is going to be a good thing for us to do because it'll allow us to till the earth without getting our hands dirty, as a delicate elf doesn't want to necessarily dig into the earth. One more thing is that all of these spells we learn at level 0. They're very hard to cast at level 0, and we can actually use this book and study a spell we already know, like the bow, Nature's Bow, for 30 minutes. And then at the end of those 30 minutes, you'll see that we gained experience. So we have currently 397 experience, and the next level gets at right around 5,000. And as it gets higher and higher level, it'll be easier and easier to cast. The reason it says it's too difficult right now is because the cast difficulty of this has a lot of factors. Largely, though, the biggest one is our focus, and reading and studying destroys your focus. It's the main thing that focus is spent on. But casting spells, the difficulty of casting spells is also depending on our focus. But if we get this high enough level, even with really terrible focus and like the middle of combat, we will have it so well memorized that we can snap to it right away, even in the middle of combat, which is where we kind of want to be. So we will probably be studying the bow. But I do want to go ahead and learn the spells that I'm interested in first. So we are going to learn Purification Seed. We'll leave Turning of the Earth for later, because this is one of the books we're going to hold on to. This is going to be like one of our grimoires, because Nature's Bow we want to get to max level, and same thing with Harvest of the Hunter. So we'll be reading this book in our downtime quite often. But we're going to go ahead and read this, and then we'll be back when it's done. We have learned Purification Seed. I don't remember, does it have an alternate? It does not have anything else. So we can just cast this, and we will be given a little gift of the earth that we can pop into water and purify all the water into clean water. This is incredibly valuable. It means that we don't even have any right now, so there's actually even more value because of that. But none of the like water purification stuff is actually something that we need at this point, which is really nice. This is our scrap stuff, right? So we're going to go ahead and drop the crystallized mana in there. I want to make sure I'm kind of keeping my inventory clean. It is about 2 p.m. in the afternoon, though, so we are going to light up our fire here. Start up. Oh, do we not have any firewood? We don't. Fortunately, there is some right here, so we'll go ahead and haul this over to our firewood stop. Our firewood spots. Start up a fire, and let's see if there's anything we can cook. No. The reason that this stuff is turned brown is because if we cooked it, we would be using raw ingredients, and Vellum has no interest in cooking with rotten ingredients. So he is just going to have to deal with just pieces of food. We'll eat some oyster crackers, eat some cheese, and drink some water. Put out the fire. Make sure that we're not carrying too much on us, because as soon as we get up in the morning, we are going to probably go out immediately. In fact, that also means that we'll go ahead and pick up some of this food to carry with us. Let's go and grab a can of canned corn. Stop concentrating on our spell. Go into our bedroom. Oh, we need to find a pillow and a blanket somewhere as well. That'll make us way more comfortable. Go ahead and wear our earplugs. And get some sleep. We wake up feeling fresh and ready. It is 11 p.m. at night, which means we have absolutely plenty of time to face the night. And with our new Nature's Bow spell in hand, we are going to step outside. And let's see. What are our goals for today? Goal number 1, in my opinion, should be that we should check all of these houses near us, basically in a 3x3. And I'm actually going to do a better job of marking our map real quick so that we can more easily see where our house is in the chaos of clutter of this map. So I'll be back in just 1 second. Okay, so now we have this big magenta M, or a big magenta X on our map, where our actual base is. And the center of the X is currently hidden by our smiling face, but when we move, you'll be able to see what that's looking like. So it looks like there's a crater to our north. That's a little scary and dangerous. I don't really know what that entails. We got some houses here. Public art piece, hardware store, another house. And what's this? Town hall. Okay. So tonight, we are going to make I'm going to go ahead and say a clockwise circle, starting at this crater up here, because if it's the most dangerous spot, which it might be, then it's going to be that require the majority of our attention. And we're going to go around clockwise and just hit everything around here. And we're going to do our best to try and take out every zombie we find so that we can kind of enjoy a little bit more peace of quiet. We immediately see a decayed zombie. Where is it? It's all the way out there. Okay. I'm going to crush the corpse that's here. Our trap did do some nice work last night. And as soon as we step out, we are going to immediately cast... Well, we're going to lose our concentration over and over again, attempting to cast it, but we're going to immediately cast Nature's Bow. And we did immediately gain a new level in it, giving it level 1 and giving it a little bit easier time to work. So we have a Nature's Bow for 240 turns. So now I'm going to introduce you guys to the archery system. The system's a little bit different than anything else, since one of the only reasons I'm actually explaining it is because as soon as we press F, we're going to have this crazy-ass menu over here, okay? So at the top is our range. So we have 8 out of 14 range. 14 would be our max. If we have elevation, we would have a little bit of extra range and some stuff. We have recoil, which I'll get to in a second. Our enemy and their current status, their HP, hostile, can see us, slower than us. And then this whole thing at the bottom. So the main thing you want to look at is these 4 bars: current, regular, careful, precise. The current will move down as we do this, but don't worry about that until now. So every single symbol you see is a hit of some kind. All 3 of these symbols. If there is just a plus here, that means that that's basically a normal hit. It will do the average damage that the bow will do. If it's a little line, that's a graze, which means it can do anywhere from 1 to 0 damage. And if it's a green, that means that it's a great hit, which will either do good damage or have a chance to do critical hits. Critical hits is kind of what we want to aim for with the bow, because the bow has a 10 times critical multiplier, but generally does like 7 to 10 damage outside of that. So normally we'll be doing like 7 to 10 damage, but then every once in a while we're going to do 70, which is 3 times as much as our magic missile was doing, just to give you an idea of how quickly we're going to down things if we get a crit. Now, at the end of this, you'll see that there's this huge empty space. That's our miss chance. So obviously, if I were to just press F right now and fire, I would have basically like, I think I don't know how many slots there are here, probably like 20 or something like that, maybe like 30 or 50. But there's a very, very small chance that we even hit. And even if we do hit, we have a 1 in 3 chance of grazing, which means we'll do no damage. There's no reason to ever do this. Not at this range, at least. If we're closer, this would change. Now it says moves to fire. Currently it says 44. Keep in mind, a normal move, like one normal move for most things, is 100. So this is half of a move to fire, which means we could do this like 4 times in quick succession. Just release a bunch of arrows, and maybe one would hit. But that's like, even in a panic situation, that's never going to be worth it. But what we can do is we can press period. And whenever we press period, you'll see our recoil go down and our steadiness go up. We'll go down to medium recoil and then low recoil. And I've been told a lot of different things about what this means. And to me, it doesn't make a lot of sense. As an actual archer in real life, it doesn't make a lot of sense. But supposedly this is the idea of like, well, I've moved too much recently, so we're steadying up our shot to really take a moment. So now if we look at this, the first 3 cost 44 moves, and then precise aim takes a little bit more. We can actually, oops, I just accidentally stopped aiming. We'll go ahead and steady up again. The save got in the way, but that's okay. It'll be fine. And a little bit of time, you'll see that the guy's moving. A little bit of time is passing as it's doing this, but he can't see us, and we're very, very quiet. So this is the best aim we're going to get at 8 spaces away with our current level of archery. Is we can now do this precise aim at the bottom. We're going to still have a chance to miss. We're still going to have a chance to graze, but we're going to have a much larger chance to fire. We'll go ahead and release, and we, ironically, only hit it for 1 damage. It was a grazing hit. But we did hit him, which means that our marksmanship and archery went up, and we only have 2 in archery and marksmanship, which does mean that we're not going to be that good for now. We are going to come over here and pick up our nature's arrow, because we only have 15. I thought it was 20, but it's 15 arrows, and then we're going to crush the stretch corpse. So that's going to be something you're going to be seeing me do a lot here, is steadying up the fire, because we do want to practice our aim as much as possible. And generally speaking, I'm actually just going to steady up, not to all the way to recoil none, but probably to recoil low and fire. And these like freshly reanimated ones that are really weak will die very quickly. Oh, what the hell is that? Oh, it's an underlift tow truck. Wow, that one did not translate very well. So it's basically the front part of a semi. Interesting. Or tow truck, not a semi. Interesting. Never actually seen one of those before. Now the bow is not going to be good indoors, so there's a good chance that we will take it off and take out our knife. There's that hole in the ground. Ooh, empty space. Open air. Yeah, something got hit really hard. We're gonna go ahead and see about taking these guys out. Can we not see him? Is he below us? He is below us. Okay. Are these guys too? Yeah, they're down in a... Basically, they're down in a pit. We might walk over there. Not right now, but we might walk over there and just kind of like shoot fish in a barrel. But we do want to check all these houses around here. We have plenty of time, so we can really take our time. We have plenty of food, plenty of water. We do use up stamina by holding back our bow, so we're going to take a moment to catch our breath here. The aiming and setting up kind of burns stamina very quickly. Ooh, a quilt and a pillow. We'll go ahead and grab both of these things because that'll help our comfort back home. And any canned food was going to be basically like a must grab forever. Another thing that Vellum is going to be looking out for is rings. These rings are made out of gold. They're actually real gold. And we know a little bit about alchemy. So we're going to go ahead and start collecting these now. Because later, whenever we start getting into some serious alchemical research, we are going to need a lot of precious metals and gemstones. And some of these rings will even have gemstones in them. Wow, there is absolutely nothing in this house. Maybe there's going to be something in the kitchen. Wow, okay, there is actually a lot of things in that hole. We might want to deal with that, because if we just leave them in there, something bad could happen. We don't trust. Holy crap, there is a lot of zombies in that hole. Well, we're not going to be getting any of our arrows back, but we could use this moment to summon another bow. And wow, look at that. Because of the elevation, because it's right below us, we can immediately use precise aim here. Fire down. We have such a high chance. We can't miss. We have an incredibly high chance to get that good hits. The only problem I see is that we would have to completely clear out this pit in order to go down there and crush things. But I think we are going to take a moment and just fire down into the hole and basically use this as archery practice. Continue. Yeah, okay. He's already tired. Vellum just continues to fire and fire and fire into this hole, using it literally like a fish. Firing fish in a barrel. Shoot down, whizzes past. Get another hit on a zombie, embedding it into them, and another. They're just climbing and tumbling over themselves down there, but they can't reach us. Zombies are not smart enough to climb. The only problem that we could see here is that perhaps... Oh, our bow ran out again. Right now at level 1, it just doesn't last very long. We're going to go ahead and actually steady up this time a little bit because that zombie cop is a little bit more armored than the others were. Just steady up down to low, basically. Low recoil, that is. Wow, we are missing a lot. Despite the fact that we have an amazing angle on these. And we do actually take down that zombie cop. Okay, good. How much skill we're getting for this? We're going to go down to our skills down here and archery. I mean, we're already at 15% marksmanship and archery again, so that's actually pretty good. Probably not as good as just practicing in our basements would be, but as it stands right now, we actually wouldn't have a lot of opportunities to practice. We'd have to actually make a bow because practicing takes so long that our bow would vanish before we actually finish practicing. Take down another one. And right now, the only thing this is just costing us is time and mana. Oh, our bow did actually vanish. Do we have enough mana for another one? We do, but I do think that this might not be the best expenditure of time because we're not killing them as fast as I thought we would. There's a bunch of downed rebar and twigs here. Interesting. That's actually a good point. Can I pick up this twig and then cast Harvest of the Hunter with that? No, we need a full stick. Good to know. Where's the twig? There we go. Are there any actual full sticks here? Doesn't look like it. Okay, so this crater is a little bit of a problem. We are going to mark it as explored for now, but we do want to come back here at some point and deal with this. Because that is just a lot. That is an absolute lot. Let's go ahead and check this house as well. And it's also going to be a really, really annoying source of sound nearby. Since we were talking about making lockpicks, we probably want to check for like butter knives and forks in these drawers because we can break them down to make lockpicks. Also, we're going to grab super glue, and I don't think we have anything with bolt turning as a tool, so we'll grab that as well. And the ascension cord could be useful, and so can the battery charger. We're just going to grab things that we think might come in handy one day. Bread knives. I don't see any forks, as it were. Oh, here we go. So all of the food that is green is immediately helpful for us. The gray food, like the eggs, we can at least probably make something with. We can make like scrambled eggs or something like that with it. Oof, a bunch of forks. There we go. And a bunch of butter knives. That's probably enough for now. That's about like 15. It would take us a pretty long time to craft any of these things. Of course, we're going to pick up books, any books we come across. We are a voracious reader and a very quick reader as it were as well. So we definitely want to keep collecting books, filling our library. I've seen much more here. And we'll check to see if any of this is synthetic. You can see the material up here, and if we find synthetic, we'll want to have some synthetic stuff to be able to like repair clothing later. I mean, having some coating in a danger situation is good, and having some soap will help us cast our freshen up spell, which does actually have a requirement of soap. Okay, we are going to... The basement can be pretty dangerous, so we're going to go ahead and summon another bow real quick. Do we have enough concentration to do it? We do. It's just going to take a few tries. There we go. What level is it now? Still level 1, but we're pretty close to level 2. Step into the basement. We'll check that water heater in a moment. There's a good chance that there'll be clean water in it. Ooh, what's this? Some sort of craft workshop? See sticks, wooden posts, a bandsaw, drill press, jointer, planer, table saw. I don't really know what all we can use these for, but ooh, and there's a whole canoe here. I don't know how we would get this canoe outside, and in fact, I'm actually confused why this man was building a canoe in his basement. Like, isn't that kind of stupid, right? Because like, how do you get it out at the end? I'll go ahead and take his super glue. Like, how do you get the canoe out? These humans. They don't know what they're doing. 500 nails? Hell yeah. That kind of like solves any nail issues we might be having for a pretty long time. And another 1,200? We have 1,700 nails. This man just gave us 2 full books of nails. That is actually amazing. Check these real quick. There's a ninja jacket in here. Wrap over black jacket, commonly used by stealthy individuals to hide in the dark in the night. Includes a pair of cotton gauntlets and a sash. You know, we're going to take that just because. There's a dark ring here. It has it's made out of silver with a gemstone, so we'll go ahead and take that as well. And self-esteem for dummies is something that we haven't read before. There's Santa pants here and a sinister black cloak. That's silly. We're going to move on from our life, or move on with that. We are going to check this real quick. It looks like there's 84 clean water in here. So we'll go ahead and dump some of it into our thing, and then we will drink a little bit of it. Nothing in this last box, and clean water is so common in these houses that we're just going to go ahead and mark this house checked and looted as well. I think these people actually pushed their bookcase in front of the door, but then they left the back screen door open. Not very smart. Probably why there's no residents here anymore. Move into the next house and check over it as well. Ooh, some bread. That's actually pretty good. Might be able to make some sandwiches. Nuclear Strike. I believe that's an unarmed book. Very interesting. And a screwdriver. I think we already have a multi-tool though, right? We do have a multi-tool, so we don't really need the screwdriver. They do the same thing in the multi-tools. Really good. Miscellaneous repair kit. It's big, so we're going to have to drop our wood bow for it for now. But we're really close to home, so honestly, what we're going to do is we're going to pop out this window here. Come around to here. And we're going to drop this home right away. And we'll drop it here so I don't forget about it. Because that is really good. I'm surprised I couldn't have picked it up, but it looks like we actually are running low on space. Probably because we have a freaking blanket shoved in there. Maintain good habit. Oh, there we go. There's a zombie. He's just a runner. Do we have enough mana to cast another nature spell? Yeah, but probably just a magic missile. Oh, it's trying to hit the wall if we do it there. Take a few steps in. There we go. One of the benefits of bows is that they are dead quiet. Literally, they do not make any noise whatsoever. Wow, that is a lot of fitchin' books. Holy crap. There's some solder there. That'll be useful later. We are out of space, though. Yeah, we are completely out of space. We will make a quick trip back home. Unload our goodies. Grab this as we go by. And then finish looting up that house. We're just going to try to drop everything here. So many nails. I'm actually very excited about that. And then we'll organize this later. Yeah, we actually did get quite a lot of stuff. I'm making sure to leave behind stuff that we don't need on us for our trips as well. We don't really need a gallon jug of clean water on us, to be honest. If we have a water bottle around here somewhere, it's actually a lot easier to just bring a plastic bottle. There we go. We'll bring one of these, and then we will refill the plastic bottle with clean water, so that we're not carrying an entire gallon jug with us. We just need the 2 clean water or plastic bottle. If we ever find a canteen or something like that, we can use that instead. In fact, do we have a canteen? We don't. It's also, I find it often very hard to remember what I do and don't have. My memory is for books, not for loot. Okay, now we have, on the top right, you'll see that we have a lot of weight and a lot of volume left. This is our total weight that we can carry, and this is the total volume we can carry. That's made up by all the various pockets we have between our pants and our backpack and all this other stuff. We'll check the basement last here. Anything that we missed here? We did miss some soap. I do want to keep soap with us because later, whenever we get into some tailoring, we're going to want to clean a lot of things before breaking them down. It's a real gold watch. Very nice. Cargo pants are for another person. They're not my jam. Go ahead and close the windows here just so that we don't give the zombies easy access onto the place that we're actively looting. Silver watch, and a pair of elbow pads. Do we have anything like that right now? We don't. So we can actually go ahead and wear those elbow pads. And they'll just provide us a little bit of defense. Is there anything conflicting there? No, it doesn't seem so. Good to know. Locked door. And our last bathroom with a lot of medical supplies. We'll take all of the bandages. We might as well take the codeine with us. Definitely take the antiseptic. You have to leave it in the bottle, though, because it is, in fact, a liquid. More antiseptic. We'll combine these bottles later, but for now, we're just going to grab them all. And any soap will be fine as well. Although soon we probably don't need any soap either, so we can save our space. What is that? Thermoelectric suit. Okay. Some gold rings. Do we have a belt on yet? Let's see. We have a police duty belt. That's a little bit better than a leather belt. Although we'll probably just take the leather belts in order to cut up later. Finding all this jewelry does mean that we will not need jewelry for very long, I think. Although we can't really do anything with it yet. We're going to need a whole setup. So we're going to have to find a much more permanent base before we do anything with the jewelry. Okay. Once again, we're going to pull out a nature's bow before going down the stairs. And that's why we're going to start running, take a few steps back. She loses sight of us. And then we are going to steady up, take a breath, fire. Only a grazing shot. Do it again. Take a breath, fire. Another grazing hit. I need to get better at archery. Finally managed to do some damage to it. Ah, shit. We had to rest. Okay, we'll back into the corner here, which is not ideal. Does see us. We're gonna hold for as long as we can. Wait until it gets right up on top of us. And fire. 16 damage. We'll run to the corner. And then we are going to drop our bow. Finish him off with the knife. We did manage to crunch down on our light a little bit, but that's okay. We'll take the arrow back. We will probably save that kid for last, just because it's going to be very hard to hit with a bow. Steady up on that zombie in the top left there. Got 2 very good hits right away. He's already bleeding very badly. You see how they're not even approaching us? Back up to catch our breath. We definitely need to get in better shape. There are so many zombies down here, actually. We actually should, realistically speaking, we should stay near the steps. Oh, and our bow just vanished. Something just died from bleeding up top there. Can we not cast our bow? Is our focus too low? Oh, our focus is too low. Well, that's unfortunate. Well, we are going to take out our knife. Man, we keep missing so many times. There we go. We took her down. And unfortunately, we're quite sad about that now because we do still feel guilty taking out these human children. They just look so similar to how these kids used to. Oh, hey, there's a deck of sorcery cards. Totally not gathering magic by any kind. We'll go ahead and take that. That will get our mood up. We always enjoyed playing sorcery. Unfortunately, we will have to play by ourselves, so we'll probably have to just, like, you know, figure out some decks or something like that. But it'll keep us entertained enough to kind of remember a shred of the old times. Looks like this basement was definitely a popular hangout for some local teens. Bunch of nerds, it looks like. My kind of people. And unfortunately, I think I just killed their zombies. Do we have a headscarf yet? I don't actually remember. Because we do need a headscarf. We have a knit scarf that's currently being used as a head wrap. But I think that is much warmer than a headscarf. We're going to check real quick. Yeah. We're going to actually put on the headscarf, and then we will activate the head wrap in order to turn the knit scarf back into something that covers our mouth, because otherwise our head warmth was going to kind of get out of hand there. Nothing else there is something that we care too much about. We should be on the lookout for a pair of socks at some point, just like normal socks, because as part of the Academy Magus uniform that we got, we do actually have like dress shoes and wool socks and stuff like that, and they're uncomfortable. They're pretty, but they're uncomfortable, and they're probably going to cause us longer issues with the apocalypse here. We have an insect sample on the ground. I don't know what that's about. And a swarming amalgamation. A small, flat creature dashing around erratically on 7 short legs. Its form is dominated by an oversized set of black mandibles on an almost comically small head. Featureless apart from a single black eye, the rest of the body is covered in sickly white skin crisscrossed by black veins. We don't know how much of a serious threat that is, so we are actually just going to go ahead and sheath our bayonets and get a magic missile ready. Actually, don't pull my bayonet back out. It does look like they're going to be working together, so it is some sort of undead. Managed to pierce it for 14 damage. Okay. The 14 damage was actually a lot of damage. It did manage to get a bite off on us. Oh, and the zombie grabbed us. Okay. Zombie's down. The zombie bit deep into our torso and left arm. Come on. Okay. We're gonna screw this. We're gonna back up. Put away our thing. Magic missile. Technically in the darkness. And then we're immediately going to pull out some bandages and start dealing with the bleeding that we have. Use the spray bandage for the last one, and then cover the rest up in bandages. Anything needs disinfected? No. The name of the limb would be in blue if we needed to deal with disinfection. So for now, we're fine. Looks like there's another fat zombie back here. Screw it. Magic missile. And another one. We pull out our bayonets. As soon as she comes through the thing, few hits, she's down. One more. Managed to get a hit off on our leg, but a few slices, and she was down too. There's a lot of clothing here, but nothing we care too much about. Let's make sure that there's nothing else back here. Another water heater. We'll take some more antiseptic here and some vitamins. And we're in pretty bad pain, so I think we're also going to take some ibuprofen right now and just kind of like see if we can dull it a little bit. Ooh, there was a lot of supplies back here. I don't know if there's anything that we care about, but bread is useful. Saves us having to make it ourselves. That will come in handy once we need to start repairing stuff, which we already need to repair our camo pants and our dress shirt and even our knee pads. So if we can find a needle and thread or make one ourselves, that would be very good. This door's locked. We allow it to just be locked. We are pretty hurt. Our left leg has seen better days. But yeah, I think we take it down. We'll go ahead and sheath that. And somewhere in our backpack, we probably have a hammer. We do. Go ahead and pull the hammer out and start smacking on the door. Eventually, we'll pull it down. Can we actually just lever it open? Well, no, we can't. We can't get enough leverage. We would need like a crowbar for something like that. Just continue slamming into the door. Eventually, we break it down enough that we can see inside, know that there's no zombies. We smash it down. Just some ibuprofen. Oh, and some archery books. Nice. Always appreciate books. We don't really need to carry nails around with us anymore, so we'll leave the nails there. Oh, there was another book here that I guess I just didn't notice. That one in the corner? No, it's just fancy. Well, at least you guys are all having a party together down here by yourselves. We're going to leave that behind, try and forget about it, catch our breath after breaking down the door, and we'll flip through the sorcery deck real quick, see if they have a good commander. It brings our spirits up, gets us in a little bit of a better mood, and after realizing that it's an okay deck, maybe it's probably a 7, we will move on. Mark this house as complete. It is 1 a.m. We're in a little bit of pain. Pop another aspirin. Check our bandages. Nothing that can be easily improved. We have enough concentration now to... We still don't have enough focus to pull out a bow. Probably because our hand is injured. The injuries can really reduce how good we can use our magic. It's one of the reasons why we need to get better at magic, because it'll reduce how much that has an impact on us. So we'll go ahead and pull out the bayonets again. Oh my gosh, got so many hits off on us. And each hit caused just immediate bleeding. We'll spray it with some spray bandage. There we go. Managed to stop the bleeding. We're not in a good mood. We've not had a good day. Well, let's check this public art piece before we call it a night. You hear agonizing crying from the southeast. It's not good. Looks like it's a chest set. Someone was using rocks for the chest. Interesting, but not something we care about right now. Zombie runner up there. He's pretty badly damaged, though, so we can just let him come to us and finish him off. Grab the memory card. Maybe we can find something interesting in there. And this is a hardware store. Well, let's go ahead and climb the fence and clear it out first. Make sure there's no one here. And then we'll take a cursory glance over it, see if there's anything here valuable. Some chainsaw chaps. If we were a different person, that would make it decent armor, but I don't think there's any way that we're going to be able to convince Vellum to wear chaps. It's just not his style. We might be able to find some tools here. And we'll probably want to remember this for later for whenever we actually care about some larger tools. Oh, Bowyer's Buddy. That sounds like that's going to have some archery recipes in it. All of these back here are paint cans, and there's a shopping cart. And some wire. We actually did need some wire in order to make our lockpicks. And some duct tape. Even better. Duct tape will help us repair things, which will be very, very nice. And there was a pair of earplugs right here, of course. Now that we have earplugs, we're going to find them everywhere we go. I'm positive of it. We do have one zombie out here. We are going to mark this as complete, but we're also going to put a note here and say that this is just a loot note. Let's make it light gray. So we can remember that there is some hardware appliances there. Actually, don't turn the linking notes back on so we can see where our notes are a little bit easier. Close it up. Oh, she is on her last legs. We can easily take her out. We're not going to worry about those kinds of things. Let's see. It is 1:30 in the morning. We should have enough time to hit these last two houses and clear out our nearby surroundings. And we're going to have to come up with a plan for how to deal with that crater. You might be thinking outright that it's a good thing, that it's just collecting zombies. But this place, as we said on our first night, this isn't necromancy. Not any necromancy we recognize. And we worry. Vellum worries deeply that leaving a whole bunch of zombies in a pit with whatever eldritch, black, tar-like forces compels them is unwise. Ooh, what is that out the window? Feral seer. This feral human completely lacks the crazed look of their compatriots have. Instead, they fix their bloodshot eyes straight at you, seeming to gaze right into your soul, and raise their weapon. They're looking at us through the window. We have 277 mana, which means that we could make 5 magic missiles. Do we have a wand on us right now? We do not. We are going to go ahead and sheath our dagger. Step over here so we have a straight shot. Prepare a magic missile. And we hit it. 23 damage. How much did that damage it? Oh, fantastic. He only has maybe 100 HP. We're going to immediately back up because I don't know if this thing also has magic. As I hit it with another magic missile, ripping it to shreds as it gets staggered in the window over and over, and then it goes down. Ooh, I don't know how threatening that thing was, but we're going to go check its body. It's got some caffeinated chewing gum and a strange gray crystal. A strange looking, surprisingly heavy crystal with a faintly glowing gray light in its depth. Holding it, you feel more perceptive. I believe, yes, this is from Mind Over Matter. This is a Netherite crystal. We've heard about these. They were being experimented on by human scientists before the Cataclysm, with results similar to what we're seeing in the Cataclysm. But only someone mad went into interact with it. But now that the Cataclysm is over, maybe madness is what we need. I do actually think that, although the black crystal would be the most useful, we may be able to contemplate photokinesis. Unfortunately, photokinesis requires a black crystal or a golden crystal, and then we need a blue or black for teleportation. So despite the incredible luck, and I am really saying incredible, fully being honest here, I have played hundreds of hours of this game and only ever come across one other crystal. And despite that luck, we did not find the color we need. But we need to keep an eye out for seers then. Did not know they could be holding such incredibly valuable treasure. Go ahead and once again, just kind of every time we come across a bathroom of any kind, we're going to check it for some more supplies, just trying to top up our supplies. No reason to carry too much with us, but definitely a good idea to carry a decent amount. Pull out our bayonet, make sure it's always at the ready. Doesn't take much time to pull out, but there's no reason to waste that time. There is some damaged rooms we can't get in there, but I don't hear anything. And we know we would hear things because our elven hearing is almost problematically good. So I do actually think that this place is clear. There's not really much left behind either, so we don't need to leave any notes for anything that we would have left. Can we go out the front door? We can. Opens from the inside quite easily. And we have one final house to check, and then finally, we will have some peace and quiet. What is that? Oh, actually, this is where we were fighting before. So that means I know for a fact that... Oh, we heard something. Can we see what it is? There might be something inside that house. We'll clean up this window. Programming book. Not the best for us. We don't really care too much about human computers, but we'll at least take it with us for something to read if we ever manage to get through our storehouse. We never really had time to finish all the books we wanted in the old world, but now that it is the apocalypse, I think we're going to have plenty of time to get through the backlog. We heard footsteps. Where from? All the way out there. Yeah, our hearing range is pretty significant. It's going to be something I bring up all the time because it is... I just really want to point out that, like, a human right now would probably be able to hear stuff that's around this range, unless it was particularly loud. So hearing footsteps out on the street. Feral burner. This feral human looks a little more composed than most, but only a little. Their clothes are singed and the air around them shimmers like a summer heat haze. They are also a feral from Mind Over Matter. A burner sounds like a bad thing by a lot, so does he see us, first of all? He does not. So we are going to take a step closer. Another step closer. Oh shit, I just noticed we don't have enough mana for a magic bolt. If we wanted to take that thing down, we would actually have to do it in melee. We're pretty healthy right now, and it isn't. It may regenerate. I think we're going to take the chance. We'll use the tree as cover, step up close. Still doesn't see us. It must be human. Oh, air erupts into an eye-searing flash, and I'm blinded. And it just set us on fire. We killed it, but it exploded, doing a bunch of damage and setting us on fire. We are going to try and... As we step up, we feel a tingle in the back of our head and a voice that almost sounds like our own. This fight is not worth it. We step away. Perhaps the burner is for another night, when we have the mana to deal with it. We'll sheath our bayonets and not push our luck. We'll head home. A little agitated. We are going to take out one or two last zombies, at least any that we come across as we return home. But we are going to get back inside as soon as possible. Now that we know, like, things like that exist out here, we are probably going to focus on being a little bit more cautious. We have a lot of loot to sort through, and we have cleared our nearby area of all of the major problems that we might run into. Bellum is going to spend probably the rest of the night and day sorting through all of this, trying to ignore the remainders of sounds that he hears outside, and work his way through the food he has, reading to his heart's content. This has been Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead. I have been Areima. The glitch you saw today will not be the last. Vellum is being watched by something greater than himself. If you are enjoying this series, please feel free to leave a like, comment, and or subscribe. I am going to be doing 10 episodes in the first season of this series, and then assessing how the series did afterwards and whether I would like to continue. It's not going to be based off of the algorithm, but based off of my own impressions of how much people liked it and how much people enjoyed it. So if you did watch it, please let me know. The more people who seem interested, the more willing I will be to continue on to a season 2. As it stands, I hope you all have a wonderful night, and goodbye.